Good day, everyone. Today, I will be discussing two protection schemes used in our power systems, which are direct transfer trip or DTT and direct underreaching transfer trip or DUTT. These schemes are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of transmission lines in case of faults. So, let's begin. So, what is direct transfer trip or DTT? So, this is a teleprotection scheme where trip signals are sent from one location to another using communication channels like fiber optics, radio, or even phone lines. So, imagine a three-terminal transmission line. If any one of the relays detects a fault within its zone, it sends a signal to trip the remote circuit breakers and isolate the fault quickly. We can see this is the DTT or direct transfer tape scheme. So this is how the DTT scheme works. In a normal situation, if there's an internal fault within the protected line, the relays, let's say relay 1, will sense the fault and immediately send trip signals to relay 2 to the remote circuit breakers. So this isolates the faulted section from the rest of the system. Like this here, as we can see, it can also be manually but only in case of emergency maintenance. There is no reason for you to pull out your fancy GPS test equipment in order to test this scheme. So the testing procedure for this scheme is very simple. Put one body at relay 1, another body at relay 2. So get your cell phones and have person 1 push the trip button. The trip button will go to the transmit of relay 1. It will then send a signal to relay 2. Then relay 2 will receive that signal and open the breaker. Then body number 2 pushes their button and then the reverse should happen and breaker number 1 should open. Now, it doesn't have to be a trip contact. It could also be a breaker status contact or anything else, but it usually is something very simple. So there's no reason for fancy test equipment. Now, what if the fault is outside the protected zone, like near bus A or bus B? So in this case, a transfer trip signal is sent to the remote breaker at the opposite end, like for bus A or bus B. Both circuit breakers will trip to isolate the fault. So one of the biggest challenges of the DTT scheme is its dependence on communication. If the communication link fails, the system might not be able to trip the breakers in time, which could lead to equipment damage or even a system-wide blackout. Now, let's talk about direct underreaching transfer trip or DUTT. So, what is a direct underreach transfer trip? So, it is a scheme used for protection of three-terminal transmission line operates when at least one of the three zone 1 elements detects an internal fault. So, this type of distance protection scheme, it operates within a specific zone, typically 80% of the line length, and trips the circuit breaker when fault is detected. The key point here is that DUTT focuses on clearing faults within this zone rapidly to maintain system stability. The next scheme that we want to look at is the direct underreaching transfer type. So once again, there's no reason for you to get out all your fancy GPS test equipment because it's a really simple test. The top shows the standard distance protection scheme with no communication, meaning there is no communication happen between the relays. And the bottom shows the DUTT scheme with communication, meaning there is a communication happen between the relays so that we can see what is their difference when we have the communication assisted schemes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fault really close to relay 1. Immediately, the relay 1 is going to see zone 1 and it's going to see zone 2. Relay 2, because the fault is still on the line, is going to see zone 2. The difference between the standard scheme and the DUTT scheme is that the standard scheme relay 1 is going to operate instantaneously and relay 2 is going to operate after a 20 cycle delay. But if you look at the DUTT scheme, zone 1 still trips the relay 1 breaker immediately, but it also sends a command to the other side telling it to open as fast as it can, which is typically under 3 cycles, depending on communication delays. So the DUTT scheme has saved us 17 cycles. Now, if I move the fault to the other side, you can see that the fault is now close to relay 2, and the opposite is going to happen. Relay 2 is going to see zone 1 and zone 2. Relay 1 is going to see zone 2 and the breaker connected to relay 2 is going to open instantaneously. Then we're going to have that 17 cycle delay between the opening of the breaker on relay 1. Next, I go outside of the zone. This relay is going to see zone 3 and relay 2 is going to see zone 2. So zone 2 has a faster time delay than zone 3 so that zone 3 are going to operate in the same amount of time. So the utility scheme gives us the benefit of saving 17 cycles for faults on the line and then giving us our normal backup protection for faults outside of the line. That 17 cycles might not seem like a big deal, but it is forever in electrical terms, and there have been some papers presented that show that the longer a fault stays on the system, the more unstable it gets, which is a big deal today. So let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of the DTT scheme. So for its advantage, fast fault isolation. DTT allows for immediate tripping of remote circuit breakers upon fault detection, which minimizes the duration of disturbances and protects equipment. So one of its biggest strengths is its speeds. It isolates the fault almost instantly, preventing damage to the equipment. Then next is the disadvantage. Dependence on communication systems. DTT relies heavily on communication infrastructure. Any failure or delay in the communication link can result in inadequate fault response. However, it's highly dependent on the communication system. If the communication channel fails, the fault may not be cleared properly. Next is for DUTT. So its advantage is fast response. Similar to DTT, DUTT enables rapid response to faults, which is crucial in maintaining system integrity in high voltage networks. So DUTT provides a fast response within its underreaching zone, ensuring the fault is isolated quickly. Next is its disadvantage. zone limitations. The effectiveness of DOTT is limited to the reaching zone. Faults outside this zone be cleared as quickly or effectively. That means it has zone limitations. Faults outside the coverage area may not be cleared as efficiently. And for conclusion, also uh, the DTT scheme enables fast and efficient isolation of faulted sections by directly sending trip signals to remote circuit breakers, making it necessary for complex power networks. Meanwhile, the DOTT scheme has a specialized form of distance protection, ensures that faults within a specific protection zone are quickly and accurately cleared, preventing disruptions in high voltage transmission networks. So I also conclude that both direct transfer trip and direct underreaching transfer trip schemes are widely used in the protection of high voltage transmission lines, like also in the substations and power grids. Then the DTT is also commonly implemented in critical infrastructure such as interconnected substations and power plants, where rapid fault isolation is important to prevent cascading failures across the grid. Then the DTT is highly effective for fast fault isolation across wide areas, but it depends heavily on reliable communication channels. On the other hand, DOTT provides quick fault clearance within a specific zone, ensuring system stability, but it has limited coverage and may require additional solutions to address its challenges. But DOTT is often utilized in short to medium length transmission lines and industrial facilities to protect specific zones from faults, ensuring that only the affected section is isolated and minimizing disruption to the rest of the system. So both schemes plays a crucial role in enhancing the reliability, stability, and safety of modern power systems and ensuring continuous power supplies to homes, industries, and essential services. So that's all. Thank you.